Come on in to Margaret McSweeney's Kitchen for Kitchen Chat, where every week you'll meet chefs, cookbook authors, foodies, gourmets, and just plain people who love to eat. And along with laughter, chat, recipes, and stories about food, you'll sometimes also hear words of inspiration, love, and hope. As Margaret always says, Kitchen Chat is food for the senses and food for the soul. So grab a cup of coffee, put your feet up on a comfy chair, and get ready to spend a little time with Margaret and her friends.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. This is your host, Margaret McSweeney, and I'm just so thrilled you're joining me in my kitchen today. You picked a great show to tune into. I can't wait for you to meet a former Coast Guard chef. Sure, there are lots of fun stories there. And also the chef proprietor of Wild Asparagus Catering.com, and he makes the absolutely best cheese puffs I have ever tasted. So without delay, I would like to welcome Chef Jeramie Campana to Kitchen Chat. Welcome, Chef Jeramie.
Thank you, Margaret. Thanks for having me. Great to talk to you.
Oh, and we've got lots of fun things to talk about. First of all, listeners, as you know, I'm very much involved. My heart for charity as well as cuisine, and it's so exciting when, you know, the culinary arts can contribute to charity, and such is the case with a Wings event coming up on April 3rd from 6:30 to 9:30 at Chicago Marriott Northwest. It will feature, it's called Taste Takes Flight. Lots of chefs, one of whom is Chef Jeramie, and he's contributed many times before, and we're just so grateful. And it helps fund a safe house, listeners, for people and women and children in the northwest suburbs of Chicago who are trying to flee a dangerous domestic violence situation at home. So thank you, Chef Jeramie, for all the many years of participating in Taste Takes Flight, and you will be there again on April 3rd.
Yeah, we sure will, and it's our pleasure to be part of that. We've been part of it since the beginning, and really we look forward to it every year. It's a great turnout. We've watched it grow. And it's become its own little monster. It's the vendors, the chefs, the companies that come in, the restaurants they're all amazing.
Yes.
It's great because they're all local. You get
yes.
to taste local food that evening, the next day, you can go there, you can have dinner there. You're not getting stuff that you don't have access to.
Right.
It's a great way for us to get in front of new clients, old clients, friends, family, and ultimately, in the end, for an amazing cause.
Exactly. So, listeners, I'm going to make sure I'm going to provide a link to Taste Takes Flight for Wings on April 3rd, and it's an exclusive opportunity to sip, savor, and sample, and also to meet not only Chef Jeramie, and you're definitely going to want to go meet him and taste the cheese puffs, but also Chicago guest chef Lee Woolen, who's a Boca Executive Chef Partner, will be there too. But anyway, so I'll provide the link. And once again, thank you, Chef Jeramie. So we've got lots to talk about, especially those cheese puffs. Now, will you be bringing the cheese puffs again this time to Wings?
Of course we will. The first year, I believe we brought them, and they were a huge hit. And the second year, we had to bring some that were prepackaged for purchase. Actually, if you purchase them, we do donate a portion of those proceeds back to Wings. So not only are you getting to purchase cheese puffs at a discounted rate than what we normally charge, but also you'll know that a portion of those proceeds are going to go back to Wings and benefit Wings even more. But we'll definitely have them there. Unlimited samples. Can't get enough of them. Keep coming back for more. Tell your friends. And actually, a new thing we're doing this year is we are going to start debuting flavors. So not only are we going to have our original cheese puffs, but we are going to do some with flavors. And we're going to debut one flavor this year at Wings for the first time. We haven't put them on our menu yet, so this is an opportunity to try something that no one else has tried. So I'm a little on the fence if I want to give away the flavor, if I want it to be a surprise.
Sure.
We've been toying with some different flavors, and we've come up with a few right now that are truly exceptional. They're very good.
I can't wait. And coming from the South, these little cheese puffs always seem to be a staple in Southern kitchens. But
yes,
yours just are so delicious. They're just like pillowy, and I don't know how. It's just a memorable taste. And I know
you get creamy, you get salty, crunchy. It's everything. You get it all. It's kind of like a chocolate-covered peanut butter pretzel. You get everything. You get the savory, the sweet, you get it all.
Yes. And I know you can't reveal the secret ingredient and all of that good stuff, but perhaps for those who might have a recipe at home for cheese puffs, is there any technique that you use that the listeners could take away and say, okay, I'm not going to spray as much, is there any little tip you can share with listeners that will make it easy to prepare cheese puffs?
Sure. We sell them in our shop frozen, but then we also do them fresh for events. But what I've found over the years is that they're always better. You can go from the freezer, take them from the freezer and go straight to the oven with them. But what I found is that with the ingredients that are in there, it is always better to let them thaw all the way. So tip number one is you can freeze them. Even if you're making them at home and you have your own recipe, the basic ingredients for them, they freeze well. If you'd like the product to be as it was when it was fresh, let them thaw out. Just put them on the counter, put them in the fridge overnight. Either way, let them thaw out, and then cook them from a thawed state.
Okay.
We have people that like them from frozen. They crisp up a little bit more from frozen. But if you want that fresh quality like they were when you first made them, let them thaw.
Okay, that's great advice. Now, my problem seems to always be things just stick. I don't know what it is, and I ruin so many cookies, all of that, because they just stick to the pan. Is there a tip on how to unstick things or to get them not to stick?
Yeah, well, you have all your cooking sprays out there, but if you just want to stay with something that's healthy, that is not an aerosol, things like that, just a little bit of olive oil on a paper towel, and you can just wipe down your cookie sheet or whatever you're putting it on, and it adds a little flavor, and it creates a nice barrier between your product and your pan.
Okay.
And anything really, if you go from frozen to a pan, you definitely want to put some oil down, because as your product is thawing in the oven, it will definitely 99% of the time stick. So your best bet is to put some sort of barrier, and it can be light. You don't have to, go nuts and have it swimming in a pool of anything. Just a nice light coating, and that will definitely keep things from sticking. Okay,
good. I'm going to remember that. And I haven't tried olive oil before on that. So
it's healthy. It's good. Adds a little flavor, and it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot at all.
Okay, and can you use that even if you're making chocolate chip cookies? Does that kind of change the flavor?
I would say possibly go for maybe not a 100% olive oil. They do have blends where you do get a little vegetable oil in there with it. Your olive oil is going to be your most healthy, but a little bit of vegetable oil in there will definitely keep your baked goods from taking on any maybe savory flavors.
Okay. Oh, but hey, even chocolate chip cookies savory, I would eat them.
Oh, absolutely.
And speaking of chocolate chips, really, Chef Jeramie, your cheese puffs are like, Mrs. Fields cookies. They're just amazing. They're addictive, and I hope to see many more in many other flavors as well. And how did you first come up with the idea of cheese puffs? Is this a family recipe, or how did you create cheese puffs?
Well, I've, in this industry, you'll see a lot of movement with chefs, and you pick up a lot of different ideas, tips, maybe even the same product, but you put your own twist on it. So these cheese puffs have been around for a long time. I've talked to some people that say, oh, yeah, I've had these before. I've known of these before. I've seen them. But I think we put our own little twist on it, and it all comes down to the combination and quantities of the ingredients that you put together. And I think we have locked that down in this product, and we have definitely, I think, manipulated and played with it enough that we have perfected it. And based on our reaction from customers and clients and people that have them, there's no doubt in my mind that we have hit the nail on the head with this one.
Oh,
and now
yes.
with the flavors, we are, I think, taking it up another notch higher. We've been messing around with the flavors, and each one we eat, we're like, it cannot get better than the last one, and they do. And I mean, for me, I hit a point where I just was starting to get tired of them because we make so many, we sell so many, and they're always in front of us, and the flavors was kind of like it was almost like the cheese puff reborn. And so now, all these flavors and it just.
It sounds.
If you go to Wings and you have one of our flavors, you will definitely see what I'm talking about. You love the original, but to have something a little different that's got a new twist on it is always a good thing.
I love that. I'm just curious, and of course I'll wait till Wings, but I would just love to see maybe jalapeno cheese puff. That would be great. And you know what else would be fun? Mac and cheese puffs. That might be a fun thing, too.
There you go. Absolutely. I will tell you, I can't give this one away. We did mess with a jalapeno cheese puff, and it is one that we're putting on our menu, but that's not the one we're going to do at Wings.
Okay.
We have another one we're going to do at Wings, but the jalapeno one was phenomenal.
Oh, I can't wait to order those. Goodness.
A little bit of heat, and it was very, very good.
Oh, I can't wait. That will be fabulous. Well, of course, we have to share with the listeners your fascinating background of being a Coast Guard chef. Yes, and first of all, thank you for serving. I really appreciate your service to the country. And also, what experiences as a Coast Guard chef do you bring to your catering kitchen? What did you learn from that?
Well, I can say that, being a chef on the Coast Guard set the groundwork for developing a catering company. I mean, that really, you're cooking for the masses. At my station, I was stationed in Traverse City, Michigan, up at an air station, and, you have 100-plus people coming in through the door for breakfast, lunch, and dinner all the time. And it definitely, the hours that you work definitely set you up for the long hours in catering. With catering, you have all the prep during the week and during the day, and then in the evenings and weekends, you're executing your event. And it is, morning to night, and it definitely sets you up for those long hours, the dedication, the hard work, but also cooking for the masses. And a little different. You always hear that, the Army or things like that, you're eating MREs, you're eating your field rations out of dehydrated foods that you're adding water to, and then the Coast Guard ate very well. Let me just tell you.
Especially with you as chef, I'm sure they eat very well.
They eat very, very well. Everything is made from scratch. Everything, and it kind of set the groundwork for what we do here. Everything we do here is made from scratch, from salad dressings to sauces, and absolutely everything is made from scratch. We don't buy anything in a bucket, bowl, vat already made. We are making even your simplest things as potato salads. We're making them from scratch. We're peeling potatoes, boiling potatoes, making the dressings for it. It is very easy to buy straight from a bucket, from a food distributor that has already made the product for you, and you just put it out. Right. But for us, we take pride in what we do, and I really believe that, the Coast Guard helped, see the potential and show you from point A to point B what you can make from a bunch of ingredients and what the end product is. And it is always better than something that is pre-made or manufactured.
Yes. So a lot of discipline that was your background, and just organization and and just making it from scratch. That is great. And did you ever make the cheese puffs for your Coast Guard friends?
No, those came after.
Okay, those came after.
Those came after, yeah. I have a feeling now that if I did, it would be a hot ticket item on the menu for sure.
Definitely, for sure.
But,
well, I do want to speak about your catering company, Wild Asparagus Catering, and it's here in Barrington, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. First of all, how did you come up with the name Wild Asparagus?
My wife and I, Deborah, she is co-owner with me. We were on a road trip, and we knew that the space came available in Barrington. We knew we wanted to take that space, and we needed a name that portrayed, I don't want to say high-end, but something that, made us feel or sound a little more upscale, because a lot of what we do is we provide a restaurant-quality product either in your home, at your venue, or either way for your event. And we just wanted to keep something a little, I don't want to say a little funky, but we just didn't want to be a humdrum name. We wanted something that was so wild, seemed to be, a little crazy, a little out of the box, a little different than what everybody else is doing. And asparagus, it's kind of your higher end vegetable in most places, compared to like your broccolis and your carrots and things like that. So it was one of those things that it just kind of came out of my wife's mouth, Wild Asparagus. And we're driving and we thought about it and we're like, wow, that really worked. And, you do the whole send all the text to your friends and what do you think about this name? What do you think about that name? And everybody loved it. And we went with it, and we've had nothing but compliments. Every time we say the name, people say, oh, I love that name. It's such a fun name. And so that really, made us realize we did the right thing. We made the right call on that name.
I love that. And I'm just curious, does asparagus grow wild?
Oh, sure it does. Of course it does. Yep. In a couple different colors, too. You can get purple, you can get white, your green. But, yeah, it definitely grows wild. And if we could grow it here at our shop, we actually have a garden out back. But if we could grow it here and actually have enough, that would be great. It would be great for us. We don't have the room to grow enough to sustain all of our catering. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So, what is like a dish, a fun asparagus dish that you make that maybe the listeners could try at home?
You can really throw asparagus in anything. Pasta. It's very good in pastas. It's very good on the side. I can definitely give a couple of tips on a couple of different ways to cook it. It's one of those things that does not take long to cook. Mm-hmm. You could boil some water. You can actually leave the asparagus. You get a bunch of asparagus from the grocery store, and it comes in a rubber band. Yeah. If you cut off a couple inches off the bottom just to get rid of the thick base, mm-hmm. you can drop it in a pot of boiling water for a minute or two until it's the tenderness you'd like it to be. You can serve it right from there, or you can drop it straight into cold water to stop the cooking process, and you'll have nice, crisp, not overdone, mushy or woody asparagus. When I say woody, I'm sure everybody has had it before you bite into it, and it tends to feel like
you break a tooth.
Well, yeah. If you get that end, you break a tooth, or it's almost like I don't want to say stringy, but it's kind of stringy. Where this, if you drop it in real quick, pull it out, stop the cooking process if you want to put it in the fridge, and it'll last a couple of days. So if you want a nice healthy snack, you can pull them out. You can dip them in, let's say, a ranch dressing or your favorite, hummus. But asparagus is a very good vegetable for antioxidants. Yeah. It really helps to take toxins out of your body and take it a little step further. But everyone says after you eat asparagus, you use the restroom, it tends to smell a little funny.
Right.
Well, that is toxin.
Toxins.
It's the asparagus removing the toxins from your body. So it's a good way to cleanse, and it's a good healthy vegetable to have in your diet.
That is great.
In the summertime, a little olive oil, a little salt and pepper, throw them on the grill for a few minutes. You get that grilled flavor, you get that nice charred flavor. But again, it's tender, it's not woody. It's just two great ways to cook asparagus, and definitely don't microwave your asparagus.
Don't microwave. Okay, that's good to know.
Do not microwave that. It's the worst possible way. it cooks from the inside out, and your inside ends up being mushy, and your outside will probably end up being stringy.
Yes.
So either real quick in a pot of boiling water, or in the summertime, throw it on the grill. It's a great side dish or a great snack.
That sounds great. And can you eat it raw? Can you eat raw asparagus, or is it best to cook it? I don't know.
It's best to cook it. You could eat it raw. I definitely don't recommend it. It's going to be, it's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very crunchy. When you cook it, especially when you grill it, you really, you're caramelizing those natural sugars. So you're bringing out those natural sugars even more. From raw, definitely don't recommend it.
And is there a different taste that the purple, white, and green has? I mean, are they all similar in taste and just different in look, or is there a unique flavor?
There's going to be different flavors. It's not so much unique. You're going to get the same flavors, maybe just not as strong.
Okay. Because, I've never had or seen a purple asparagus. So
sometimes the local grocery store will get them, and they'll have a few out. And they'll do. I've seen white more than I have purple in the local grocery stores. Maybe if you go to some of your specialty stores or markets, you can find purple. I've also a couple times I've seen some red too. So it all depends.
Yeah. And what's neat, listeners, too, is purple is a color for domestic violence awareness. So that's so great that there's purple asparagus. I'll have to remember that, Chef Jeramie. That's wonderful. Well, I do want listeners to know how to reach you, and I will put a link to your website, wildasparagus.catering.com, and you do events and everything, of course. And could you share a little bit about the referral promo that you are going to be starting soon that the listeners might be interested in as well?
Absolutely. For 2014, we wanted to kind of give back to our current clients, and a way we can do that is through our email blasts. So we send out email blasts when we have, up-and-coming things, or we want to remind people that, even with the snow, there's still graduation and wedding season and all those things, in our near future. And we want people to be able to click on those websites or on our email blast, read what we have going on that week or that month, and then forward that on to a friend. Forward that on to somebody that has a teen that's graduating this year, and you think maybe they could benefit from our services. And if you do that, we'll automatically give you a dozen free cheese puffs.
Wow.
So you just come on in, let us know. We keep track of it all. Let us know that you forwarded it on, and we'll be happy to give you a dozen cheese puffs as a thank you for referring us and passing our information along. Now, if that person that you forwarded to does an event with us, there are a few restrictions here and there, but if they do an event with us, we will then return the favor once again back to the original person who referred us to you, and we will offer you a discount on your next event. So in a way, you're kind of getting, it benefits you in two ways. You get a little treat of our cheese puffs, and then your next event that you do with us, we'll give you a discount on the food as well.
Oh, that's great. It's a win-win for everyone. And it's especially a win on April 3rd, where you can meet Chef Jeramie along with some other chefs at the Wings annual Taste Takes Flight at Chicago Marriott Northwest from 6:30 to 9:30. I cannot wait to taste your surprise flavored cheese puffs, Chef Jeramie. And
we're excited to debut them.
To see you there. And meanwhile, thank you so much for being a guest on Kitchen Chat. I really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And listeners, as you go about your busy day, just remember to take a moment and sit down and savor the day.
Thank you for joining us today. If you're interested in Margaret's books, A Mother's Heart Knows, Pearl Girls, Encountering Grit, Experiencing Grace, and Go Back and Be Happy, please just click on the covers on the webtalkradio.net page in front of you. Margaret would love to connect with you and hear from you, so join her on Twitter, Facebook, her blog, or click on this website to leave a note and share a recipe. Thank you again, and we'll see you here again for a new show next week.